Good morning and happy Sunday. We are so glad to have you join us in consciousness this morning as we center into the awareness of the presence of God that is in me and is in you. And so we can find acceptance and we can find connection, whether we're together in person or whether we're just alone in our living room here in this place. So no matter where you find yourself this morning, please join us here in this place.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day outside, one of our last few fall summer days. So I just wanted to welcome you to our community of love and light as we joyously express God's greater vision in our lives. My name is Shannon Hoff-Smith, and it's my pleasure to be assisting Reverend Joanne on platform today. We would like to also extend a special welcome to the live stream viewers and know whether you're just the street over, next over, or across the globe, we feel your presence. We're holding you in prayer. So at Unity Spiritual Center, we are about transforming lives. And Unity is more than just the Sunday morning experience. We offer many opportunities throughout the week to extend our awareness. And these bring us closer together and bring us closer to our connection with God. So please make sure that you're exploring all the things we have to offer. Myrtle Fillmore described herself as an eclectic when it came to her spirituality. And the Fillmores studied the world religions, and our Saturday evening service on the Unity grounds outside explores how Unity teachings compare with the other world religions in our summer series. Open Hearts and Open Minds, it begins at 5 o'clock on Saturdays. And next Saturday, we are actually going to be exploring Unity. Eric Butterworth's teachings on divine potential are going to be discussed. And then after the presentation, an open discussion follows. And then coming this fall, there's going to be a fireside chat series, and that's going to be beginning in October. So we'll give you more information on that as it's available. Also, if you're missing connection with your spiritual community, we have another opportunity, and that's on Sunday evenings at 7:30 if you go to Connecting in the Community Zoom room. And facilitators lead a 15-20-minute intention circle every Sunday. And it includes centering in the stillness, sharing intention, and just resting in gratitude. So everyone is welcome to join us for that fabulous opportunity and to hold the intentions for our community, our country, our world, just raise the vibration. So, and now, I would like to invite Greg Scudrin up to give a community update on the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Shannon. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to give a brief update from the Board of Trustees on some topics of interest. First, I wanted to give you an update on the goings-on with Prosperity House. As you may recall, we were having a survey done to redefine the property lines for the properties that we'll be selling. We have appended to the main campus a small portion of the land from the two properties that we are going to be offering for sale. That survey has now been completed. Paperwork has been filed with Cuyahoga County, and it is awaiting authorization. It's going to be sent to me, which I will sign and then return to the county. And then the final step of that will be the approval from the City of Westlake Planning Commission, and we anticipate no trouble with that, as we have been in constant contact with the City of Westlake all along, and they're well aware of our plans. So the property should be approved for public sale sometime in November. And when that occurs, we will be making a public announcement on the terms of sale and how that's going to occur. So look forward to being able to offer that information in more detail very soon. The second thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is that Unity Spiritual Center is doing very well financially, thanks to your ongoing support. And I can't express strongly enough my gratitude for everyone who continues to contribute to Unity Spiritual Center, even though we're not here in person on Sundays. So thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. And another topic that people have been asking about is when will we be here again together on Sunday mornings in person? Well, as we announced sometime back in, I believe it was July, that we would be watching the state of Ohio COVID warning system each week to see where we stand regarding that. The 4-level warning system, with 1 being the lowest level and 4 being the highest alert level, that we would consider reopening once Cuyahoga County reached a level 1 warning. Well, I checked this past Thursday, and Cuyahoga County is still at level 2, but we're absolutely moving in the right direction. I've been tracking this each week, and the numbers get lower and lower each week, and hopefully very soon Cuyahoga County and the rest of Ohio and the rest of the United States and the rest of the world will be out of this pandemic warning, and we'll be able to be here again in person together, and we're all looking forward to that day. So that's the Board of Trustees update. And I did want to mention something that Shannon was just talking about, the upcoming series for the fall, Unity Fireside Chats. Michelle Coles and myself will be leading that. What we're planning on doing is having one of our portable fire pits out on the Unity grounds outside to have a fire going, and we're going to be reading Unity booklets and tracts from Unity authors, both past and present, and then having an open discussion as we have that. I'm going to encourage people to bring, a picnic dinner, if that's the word to use, because we're going to be building a fire and wanting to hang out during the fall in front of the fire. So we look forward to seeing everybody soon here in person once conditions allow us to do that. And until such time as that occurs, we look forward to seeing everyone on Saturday afternoons for Unity Fireside Chats. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Are those going to be Saturday at 5 also?
Same time and place.
Same time and place. I'm excited about that. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So please be sure to check your website for detailed information on all the different classes and activities that we have. Check out the special events section for new spiritual enrichment opportunities. And now we'll return to Bonnie and Jerry for our celebration song.
Well, this is the last Sunday of this series of music, and I hope you've enjoyed We Are the Ones as much as I have. It has just been such a great reminder to me that I'm the one that can make a difference, and I make that difference by knowing that I'm the one that chooses how I respond to life and situations and circumstances. And so as we each pay attention to that and take responsibility for that, then we all can join together and be that change that we want to see in the world. So please join me. We are the ones. We are the ones who have changed. ones. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are. 'Cause no one else gonna make the changes, no savior gonna drop from the sky. Nothing left to do but wake up, 'cause it's really up to you and I to take it one step at a time. Stand together with your hand in mine. Then we'll see the world that we've been dreaming about. We need it now, the time is now, there is no doubt. I'm the one, I am the one that I've been waiting for. I am the one who will make a difference. I am the one who will change the world. I am the one, I own it. I am the one, I am, and you're the one too. You are the one that you've been waiting for. You are the one who will make a difference. You are the one who will change the world. You are the one, you are. You are the one, you are. We all are. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones, we are. We are the ones, we are. We are the ones, we are. Last time, we are the ones, we are. Yes, we are the ones.
The daily word for today is faith, and the affirmation is, I believe all things are possible with God. My faith carries me through all circumstances and empowers me to think and dream big. The power of faith helps me transcend thoughts of limitation, doubt, and fear. I can't see a material outcome to my prayers yet, but I remain mindful that divine order is unfolding and answers and opportunities will come to me at the perfect time. In times of prayer, I visualize my dreams come true as I use my power of faith to see the life I wish to live within my reach. Even if I start to feel doubt, I can pray, meditate, speak, and act with faith until I once again believe that my good is manifesting. I continue to connect with the indwelling spirit until I am filled anew with rightly directed faith. The scripture for today is from Hebrews chapters 11, verse 1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And to repeat the affirmation, I believe all things are possible with God.
So I can be a blessing to the world when I am open to change and growth and challenge in life and the possibilities that are inside that. When I let God be my heart and my hands and my voice, I will be a blessing. We're going to start with you are the heart, and then we are the heart, and finally I am the heart. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you
Thank you, Bonnie and Jerry. Yes, we are a blessing to the world. And as we take the time to enter into meditation, I'm going to be bringing us once more to a metta meditation, this one a little bit different again. Years ago, I read How God Changes Your Brain, and metta meditation is one of the techniques to support us in building those neurotransmitters that allow us to see from a place of unity, from oneness, from love, and from forgiveness. So it's a very powerful meditation, and I'm going to invite you right now, if you're comfortable doing so, to close your eyes and to place your hand perhaps over your heart, to center yourself there in that place of loving wisdom, and to take a breath with me. And in the releasing of your breath, to release with it any thoughts of worry, fear, doubt, anxiousness, confusion, separation, othering, lack, limitation. Let's just simply breathe here in this moment briefly, recognizing that it is through our breath that we become here centered in the moment. Knowing I cannot breathe in the past, I cannot breathe in the future, just in the here and now. We take a few moments to relax with our breath, feeling the coolness of the breath moving over our nostrils as we breathe in, and then the warmth of that breath as it flows back out through our nostrils. Breathing here in the stillness, centering in this eternal now moment. And as you breathe in this moment, bring to mind these words for yourself. Be happy. Be at peace. Be happy with the in-breath. Be at peace with the out-breath. Be happy. Be at peace. And we breathe together with these two statements. Be happy. Be at peace. And in that awareness of that intention to be happy and to be at peace, let us now think about someone in our mind for whom we feel unconditional love. Perhaps a child, a grandchild, a niece, a nephew, a beloved four-legged friend, a partner, a spouse, parent, a friend. Whoever that may be for you, that you feel this deep sense of unconditional love, allow them to be here in your mind's eye as you allow that love to well up within you. In this, we recognize that we do not have to seek outside of ourselves for love. All the love that we are seeking can be found within. And we allow that power of love to well up within as we imagine our beloved here in mind. And having seen our beloved in our mind's eye and allowed ourselves to experience that unconditional love we have for them, we now take that love and turn it back on self, loving ourself, being compassionate with ourself, being kind with ourself, being understanding with ourself. Again, remembering our mantra, be happy, be at peace, as we allow ourselves to feel unconditional love for self. And having allowed ourselves to experience that unconditional love for ourselves, we now turn it to another. Imagine in your mind's eye someone you find challenging to love, someone who pushes your buttons, someone for whom it is easy to forget that they too are a unique and individualized expression of God. And holding them here in our mind's eye, let us extend this unconditional love that we have generated to that one. Holding the mantra for them, be happy, be at peace. Be happy, be at peace. And finally, breathing still in this moment, in that awareness of that unconditional love, let us call to mind our entire planet, this world filled with creation, Christ-soaked creation, creation that reveals the individualized expression of God that we each are. Creation without borders, walls, and boundaries. Creation without separation and limitation, but just creation is created and intended, one whole, holy creation. And holding creation here in our mind's eye, let us affirm for all creation, all the world, be happy, be at peace. Be happy. Be at peace. Be happy. Be at peace. And know with me that as we practice this meditation together, we are literally building neural connections in our brain of compassion, kindness, forgiveness, and love. And together, in this way, we open ourselves to what is ours to do to create a world that works for all. And so it will be as we allow it to be. And now Lori will come up and share our community prayer.
And so as we enter the time of community prayer, let's continue in that place of felt connection to the One, Father, Mother, God. We breathe deeply and know we are home. We tuck ourselves into the warmth and relax into the peace, the love, the joy that is there at the center of our being, that surrounds and enfolds us. Now greet the divine, however you envision that presence within. Acknowledge the allness with faith and assurance.
knowing that even in the most difficult circumstances, in any lack, limitation, or discord, good is there. God is there. Truth is there. And in this place, truth not only abides but thrives. Hold that feeling of thriving. Envision a life with abundance, a life with physical, mental, and emotional wholeness, a life with healthy relationships, a life with wise choices and the feeling of being guided, a life with love, love for this earth and all its people and creatures. And now, knowing that it is not I, but the Christ within who does the work, bring to mind the names for whom you would pray today. Gather them into the love and know the truth for them. Please say their names out loud or silently and release them to God, the good. And now our September community prayer. With a soft inward gaze and a gentle breath, I recognize the light of spirit that is my source and true nature. Focused on the light, I look with kindness upon fears and worries, for they urge me to harness my great power of faith. By faith, I dare to see what cannot be seen by human eyes, but exists as surely as the sun exists behind a cloud. I trust in universal goodness, so much so that I rest deeply in the peace of spiritual assurance. I remain faithful during times when my human brain cannot envision the magnificent possibilities of a healthful life, harmonious love, or boundless prosperity. Moving from fear to faith, I see my life through spiritual eyes. I trust my divine identity as the greatest reality, and I live in joyous expectation. And so it is. My name is Lori Grimes, and I'll be available for individual prayer in the community Zoom room after service. Thank you.
Hello again, Westlake. It's Daniel Nahmod, still here. Haven't gone anywhere. Probably neither have you. Still in my home studio here in Orange County, California. Hope you're still doing well. We are okay over here in the family compound, the Nahmod family. And I am just thrilled to be singing for you again. I've always thought the first invitation to sing somewhere is very nice and flattering. But a return invitation is a whole nother level of an honor and a compliment. And I really appreciate the opportunity to sing for you so many times these past 6 or 7 months. And I hope to continue doing so, whether it's into my little computer screen at a distance or in person sometime soon. In any case, here is a song from an album called Time for Fire. A song about taking a chance. And it's also a song really about remembering that even as I take what can feel like a huge risk, saying something that I almost dare not say, trying something that I almost dare not try, reaching for something that I dare not dream to reach. Even as I'm doing that, I can hold here the realization that earthly stuff may be on the line. I can break a heart, I can break a bone, yes. But I am actually always, at my core, forever, unshakably, permanently okay. It all depends on how you define okay. And this song takes a look at how I've defined being okay as I aspire to something, as I reach for something, as I take a chance. I hope you enjoy it. A song called Here Goes Nothing. I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering when everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. No, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say it's crazy. Some say naive to close my eyes and take the leap. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. So when my mind plays its usual games, oh, my answer is always the same. Yeah. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time, 'cause I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way.
Thank you, Daniel, for that reminder. I'm okay. I always have been and I always will be, and I don't need to allow my fear to stop me. What a perfect song for today as we complete our discussion on being a superhero to your community and discover the power of challenge today. What's very clear in the life of a superhero is that a superhero does not shrink back from challenge. In fact, it's what makes them a superhero. They step into the challenge. They overcome the challenge. They support us in overcoming the challenge. And so all of our superheroes throughout this series have represented the power of challenge. From Superman to the Black Panther to Batman and Robin to Super Sick, and today to our superhero that is in pop culture that represents the power of challenge. I just want to say again, every superhero embraces and takes on challenge. So I was reading an article this week about the history of superheroes once more. And in this particular article, what it talked about is how our superheroes take on the changing values in our society. And so one of the examples given was Captain America. Captain America was actually developed by a couple of Jewish comic book writers 9 months before the United States entered into World War II. Captain America showed up on the in the comic book pages, adorned in a outfit with the American flag on it, fighting the injustice of the Nazis. A full 9 months before America entered that war, they were seeing on the pages of their comic books why the injustice of the Nazis needed to be fought against through Captain America. During World War II, the first woman superhero in the comic strips appear, and that was Superwoman. This at a time when men were going off to fight a war and women were stepping into traditional male roles to go work in the factories to keep our society running here back at home. Superwoman came upon the scene in all of her power and embraced the power of being a woman and rising up to the challenge, indicative of what women were going through at that time. But as I said, our superheroes tended to change as our values changed. And so after World War II, when the men came back from fighting that war and returned to their jobs, and the women needed to step back from those roles and enter into their more traditional role in American society, Superwoman actually, for a period of time, lost her superpowers. It's an interesting piece of history that I did not know about. But for me, today, Superwoman is our pop culture superhero. And in the many ways that she has shown up in that role throughout history. Like all the other superheroes, willing to take on a challenge. So our conversation today on the power of challenge has challenged me as well, because I recognized within myself the resistance that I had to the superhero that came to mind for me as our real-life superhero today. And the challenge is that we are living in a world, in a culture, in a society where everything has been so hyper-politicized that it seems like there is not a topic that does not have a political bent to it. Whether that topic is the injustice of racism, the injustice of education, the injustice of healthcare, the injustice of our socioeconomic basis, all of it has become so hyper-politicized that it often feels like, to me, it's challenging to talk about the injustice because where we go to is immediately to the politics of it. And what has occurred as a result is that as a society, we have become divided by our politics rather than the issues that are under those politics. And so my challenge was, can I bring us a superhero today knowing that this superhero could be easily seen from that political bent? So you might have guessed my superhero, my superwoman for this week is Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, as I say her name, depending on who you are, you may be having a reaction to that. And I want to caution all of us, if your reaction is a political reaction, to step back from that for a moment. Because here's the issue with that. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is more than the politics that she is supposed to represent. If we stay on that surface level of just the politics of Justice Ginsburg, we miss the nuanced dimension of her life, where she became a superhero to our entire country, no matter your gender, no matter your race, no matter your socioeconomic status. She was that superhero. See, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was born into a Jewish home where her parents taught her the value of learning, caring for others, and doing your best. Her mother told her to be a lady and not give in to angry emotions that usually are useless when we give in to them, and to never give up, to be independent. It's probably not surprising that Ruth Bader Ginsburg took on injustice, because at 17, she lost her mother to cancer. And at 17, as a minyan was gathering to pray for her mother, she was not allowed to join that minyan because she was a woman, and only men were allowed. And so right there, she was touched by the injustice of not being able to enter into that time of prayer for her mother. So perhaps it's not surprising that Ruth Bader Ginsburg took on the idea of injustice and inequality and began that fight. She entered into university at a time where the university, I want to make sure that I get it right, the name of the university she initially attended, so let me pull that up here. I will say, as I'm looking this up, the university had a population, women to men, of 4-to-1. And in those days, even when I went to college, I can remember hearing about MRS degrees, right? A woman went to college to get her MRS degree. And in this Cornell University, where she attended her undergraduate studies, there were 4 men to every 1 woman. And if a woman couldn't find a husband there, she was considered a failure. It is there that Ruth Bader Ginsburg met her husband, Marty. But according to Ruth, her words, her husband was the first boy I ever knew who cared I had a brain. So she and Marty began this lifetime love of Marty supporting her in her work. When she graduated from Cornell, she went on to apply to law school at Harvard, where just 2% of the incoming law students were women. And at the dean's welcome to that incoming class, the women heard, "Why do you think you deserve to be here taking the place of a man?" Because you see, that was the general thought at that time, that women were supposed to be in the home and men were supposed to be the bread makers. But Ruth went on to be in the top 25 of her class of 500, allowing her to join the Harvard Law Review, which only accepted the top 25 students. And in that time, when she went to go get a periodical out of the law library, she was actually refused entry because she was a woman. So not only did Ruth fight injustice for all of us, she also fought injustice for herself. Her husband, Marty, graduated from law school a couple of years before her, and so, as women did, especially in those times, she followed Marty to New York City, where he got a job, and she engaged in law school there instead, Columbia. When she graduated, there was not a single law firm in the entire city of New York who would hire Ruth as a woman. And so she went on to join the staff at Rutgers University, teaching law instead. And it was there that the students began asking for a course on gender discrimination and the law. And Ruth fully stepped into this idea. The first case that she pled in front of the Supreme Court was about gender discrimination. It was about Sharon Frontiero, who was in the military, married, and didn't receive a housing allowance, even though the men in the military did. And she was told she should be happy she had the opportunity to be in the military. But Ruth took that case to the Supreme Court and said she, as a woman, had as much right to a housing allowance as any man did who was serving in the military. And in that argument, she recognized and realized that the men of the Supreme Court did not believe in gender discrimination. The case that really she became known for arguing in front of the Supreme Court was Weinberger versus Weisenfeld. And Stephen Weisenfeld was who she represented. He was a father whose wife had died giving birth to their son. He, as a single parent now, raising and caring for this child, went to Social Security in order to receive survivor benefits for this child, only to be told that those survivor benefits were women's benefits. In other words, here was an instance of gender discrimination, discriminating against a man, and Ruth saw it for what it was, an opportunity to really connect to those men in the Supreme Court. And she argued that case and won. And in that showed that gender discrimination does not just impact a single gender, but impacts us all. She went on to argue 6 cases of gender discrimination before the Supreme Court and won 5 of them. And then, of course, in 1993, was nominated and appointed to the Supreme Court through the presidency of Bill Clinton. On her wall, in her chamber office, was a Deuteronomy quote, "Justice, justice, you shall pursue." And Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent her life pursuing justice for all, no matter who you are or what your gender. And so, for me, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is our superhero person that is a real life person within our culture and within our society. Like all superheroes, she did not shrink back from challenge. So challenge. What do you and I do with challenge? How do we embrace challenge? How do we move through challenge? Ruth Ginsburg remembered her mother, "Don't get angry, that's useless. Instead, educate." And that's what Ruth did, to educate people about gender discrimination. So, here's some thoughts for you on challenge from Eric Butterworth. This was taken from Truth Unity. We must realize that growth comes through change, and change normally involves challenge. The real crisis is one of perception, not what has happened, but what you're thinking about what has happened. So this experience has come to bring me something I need for my growth. He goes on to say, Jesus is saying, "I came to bring you a war rather than peace." This isn't what he meant at all, Eric Butterworth says. He's saying that life is not for ease and contentment. Life is for growth. He came to stir you up, not to lull you into complacency, but to set you on fire with the realization that there's a great things good for you if you keep working within. And so here we are in unity, given the opportunity to see that we are not here for complacency. We are here to take on challenge, to learn through challenge, to grow through challenge, and that this is the way that we will experience our spiritual transformation. Now, no one could argue that we are going through great change this year, 2020, the year that we're seeing through spiritual eyes. The year that we are hit with a worldwide pandemic that has been politicized. The year that we are going through a political election that is highly divisive. The year when racial inequity is in our face and we can't ignore it, and it too has been politicized. The year where we cannot ignore that there are people in this country who don't have access to the health care that they need to meet this worldwide pandemic. Change is here, and we are in the midst of it, and I don't care who you are, I know you're experiencing it. Perhaps for you, it's the change of not being able to get together with your friends as you would. Certainly for all of us, it's the change of not being able to be here in community together in Unity Hall. But all of us are experiencing the challenge of change. And so as our fall program team was discussing which book we might discuss as a group this year, it would have been so easy to go to a book that made us feel good, to go to that place of complacency. Because I know, I've been here with you nearly 6 years, I know we have heard over and over again that God's the only power and that we are one and that Spirit of God is within you and me and that each one is the Christ in a unique and individualized expression. I know you've heard me say over and over again that we are creating our world through the thoughts that we hold, that through prayer and meditation we can commune with God. I know you know these ideas in your mind and in your heart. But how do we now, in a moment of great challenge, take these ideas and live these ideas? We could read a book like Eric Butterworth's Discover the Power Within You and remember once more that power is within us. But I'm ready, and I know you are ready to join me, to step out, to step into the challenge like those superheroes that we've been hearing about, and to say, what's mine to do here? Beyond the politics of it, but to this place of revolutionary love. Our book that we are reading, See No Stranger, is a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love. Revolutionary love, love in action, love that sees no stranger no matter what your religion, no matter what your color, no matter what your political identity, no matter what your worldview, no matter what your ideology. How do we take these ideas and embrace the challenge of living into those ideas? Seeing no stranger. It's why we chose this book this year. Because no matter who we are going through great challenge and great change. And I believe we can support one another in moving through that by practicing together, which is our fifth unity principle, the principle of practice. Now, I've said this and I'll say it again. In this book, there are probably about, I'm going to guess, a half a dozen statements within the book that you could describe as political. But I'm going to invite you to set aside the politics of what you hear in those statements, just in the same way that I asked you to set aside the politics of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Because this book is so much more nuanced than those few instances of politics that is mentioned here. And just like Ruth, this book in that nuance has something that we are invited to learn and grow through together. And so we are going to be having small groups meeting in Zoom. Every day of the week there's a group out there. We'll come together reading chapters and having discussion together, finding our way through the challenging conversation. Because I'm telling you, if we can do it with one another, we will discover the boldness, the confidence, the courage to go out there in the world and see no stranger and love one another in revolutionary ways and move beyond the divisiveness and the politics that have overcome our world. This, for me, is not a political book. This, for me, is a book of truth, a book that represents what unity says. We are each unique expressions of God, and let us honor that in one another. This is the idea that we'll be practicing over the 7 weeks of our fall program. So find a small group on the website, uscwestlake.org, and join us for that. I also want to tell you that there was an idea that formed at the fall equinox labyrinth walk to hold a Circle the Labyrinth with Love for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Initially, that same fear came up in me, like, I don't want this to be a political thing. But as I considered Ruth and her life and the dimension of her and the ways in which she changed our country for everyone to be more equal for all, it is that we're going to come together and honor. And that's going to be taking place on October 18th, the Sunday morning at 10 o'clock around our labyrinth. So plan to join us for that. Meanwhile, like every week, we get to practice. And so in addition to going and finding a group, getting your book, beginning to read, what I'd like you to do is consider where have I disengaged from challenge? Where have you set aside your own inner truth to remain complacent and comfortable? If you could embrace the challenge, what growth might be waiting for you? How are you willing to set aside your own comfortability to grow through challenge within community? Because this is what all of our superheroes have done. The pop culture ones and the real life ones that have been mentioned each week. It's what I'm inviting you to, and it's what I continue to invite myself to. Because I will tell you, there is a lot of challenge in meeting that challenge. Finally, I'd like to close with our scripture for today from the book of James, chapter 1, verses 2 and 4. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. I'm okay. You're okay. We always have been. We always will be. Because that Spirit of God within uplifts, encourages, inspires, and equips us all to meet the challenges fearlessly. Thank you, and God bless.
Am I nervous? Of course I am. You don't even have to ask. Chasing a mystery, anyone would be. One more step and it's out of my hands. There can be no turning back. Can't say what's in front of me, but you know I can't wait to see. This is something I owe to myself. This is something I've just gotta do. I don't know what I'll find, but there's one thing I know about my life. It's gotta be, it's just gotta be true. I remember, of course I do, how I used to hear my heart. What I most want to be, what I most long to see. Well, that voice has faded so far away. I hardly recognize myself. What happened to me? No wonder I couldn't breathe. This is something I owe to myself. This is something I've just gotta do. I don't know what I'll find, but there's one thing I know about my life. It's gotta be, yeah, it's just gotta be true. It's been a lifelong habit, gave away my power, playing follow the leader again and again. But my soul won't have it, I won't hide or cower. I'm ready to dive back in. This is something I owe to myself. This is something I've just gotta do. I don't care what I find. Yeah, there's one thing I know about my life. It's gotta be, it's just gotta be true. It's just gotta be true. It's gotta be true.
we join together, giving generously as each is able, we rise strong as a community. In community, your faith is nurtured and strengthened through Unity's teaching as your heart is moved and your conscience is stirred. Supporting Unity Spiritual Center in thriving today assures its continued presence as a community of transformation and light for future generations. You may have been called to be here at this time, and what a difference you are making in the sustainability of our beloved community. Please bless your offering and affirm with me, I am rich in divine ideas, wealthy in divine abundance.
One more song for you today. Thanks again for having me. Take good care. Ran away from the sun. Ran away from the rain. Hid away from everyone. Ran away from the pain. Now I'm so out of breath. Now I'm so scared to death. I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding anymore. For the first time in my life, I will stand my ground. No more running round. Here I am. What's a life covered up? Day and night, just not to fail. Like a life without love is its own kind of jail. And what a waste to regret what I haven't tried yet. I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding anymore. For the first time in my life, I will stand my ground. With my heart unbound, here I am. Oh yeah. Throw in the game just to make sure that I never win. Kept counting myself out again and again. So nervous, running in circles till nobody knew where I'd been. Maybe today is the day that I let it all in. Maybe my secret hurt's no original sin. It's time I've made up my mind. I'm ready to dive in. I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding anymore. For the first time in my life, I will stand my ground. I will sing out loud, here I am. Oh yeah, here I am. I am.
Please join me as we dedicate these gifts to the will and the way and the work of the living Christ, moving in and through this ministry of love to transform planet Earth. We thank you, Mother, Father, and God, for enough and more than enough to meet all of our desires. Amen. So Unity Spiritual Center, as you know, gives a portion of our offering to several other organizations, including one that we select as a special organization each month. And this month it is the Village Project. This organization provides meals and services to people who have cancer and need assistance, who live in Bay Village, Westlake, Avon, Avon Lake, and Rocky River. So thank you for joining us this morning. A special welcome to any new live stream viewers we might have. We are so happy that Spirit guided you to be with us here today. And our message next week, Seeing with Wonder, and this is the beginning of our fall program with See No Stranger. And with the fall program, each week we have one of our powers. Our power is faith. And so if you want to wear deep blue, even though you're still at home, you know you're wearing deep blue, wear deep blue. And our soloist is going to be Karen Drucker. So back to Bonnie and Jerry for our closing songs, and we will see you next week. Take care.
I love that piece of our spiritual practice this week, and I'm going to keep asking that question. What growth is waiting for me in this? And everything that happens, what growth is waiting for me? And I'm going to be open to it. And from that place, if we individually do that, then we can be the peace, be the change that we want to see. So please join me as we close our service. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I am the light of God, that's where it begins. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. And you're the light too. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We're all the lights. We are the light of God, we are the love of God, we are the power of God, we are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So take that knowing with you and answer that question. What is in this for me this week as you go out and be the light? Have a great week.